Wonderful good day, ladies and gentlemen, out of our studios today here in Munich at Commodity TV. I'm very happy that we have here, I would say, one of the shooting stars of the highest quality explorer companies in the uranium sector. Fission Uranium, you know, the company is very well known here in Germany already. And we have been on site in January, and the last time we had the guys here was in February in our studios, and now I'm very happy and proud that I have Def Randhawa here, the chairman and CEO of the company, to give us an update. Def, thank you very much for being here, taking the time.
Thanks for having us.
As I said, I was there in January, we met in February again. Yeah. What happened? I think you have been in the winter drill program and you finished that and you put a summer program on. So what happened?
Well, you also probably got thawed. It was minus 40 when you were up there.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So hopefully you thawed from that. Well, I think like last year was our first year of drilling, and we wanted to show that it was a large system going east-west. And our goal this winter was to show that everything was connected. It was just weren't little balls of uranium, but one large system. So I think we did that by showing it was connected, 1 kilometer of it. Then the summer program was to show that it wasn't just a narrow system, but it could widen at certain points. I think we did that. Again, we're waiting for the assays to come in to confirm that, but the scintillometer results we've got certainly shows that we have widened it in some parts over 100 meters. And so these deposits pinch and swell. So you got to be very methodical about how you go about, you know, showing how wide and et cetera it is. But I think our technical team's done a great job to show it's wide, it's open to the east, obviously, and I think we're open to the west, but also north-south now. And that's important because that's what will really add pounds at the end of the day.
I think it's still all shallow, right? It stayed on the surface.
Absolutely. I mean, it starts off around 50. In the worst case down here, we see it dipping about 100 meters of overburden. But generally, it's quite shallow. And it's certainly a lot shallower than what we see in the rest of the basin.
And I think you drilled also the best hole ever drilled. Was that correct?
Well, I think the term David Talbot used was second best intercept, called GT, grade times thickness, and it was about 1,000. There have been better holes. However, those holes were much deeper, and so I think that's why he used that piece of information. It was second best intercept.
Okay, so you have drilled a lot. I think your success rate is something like 99%. What I found out so far.
Yeah, we've hit lots of mineralization. So somebody either said we're very lucky or we're very good. I think I'm happy with the very lucky. And so, but the technical team did a great job of being methodical and staying. You know, even though we've taken some big risks by going out 400 meters. Thankfully, it's a very big system, and we've hit mineralization each time. And we're using a cutoff of 0.05 at 50 meters, which is it's a stringent cutoff, and it's the right one.
Let's come to the big question, 43-101, because you don't have it yet.
Right.
You want to do it out of the 220 holes I think you drilled so far. When do you expect it? And can you say something about, let's say, market expectations? You are valued already at over $400 million with the company. So, please.
Well, the market's saying we've got about 40 million pounds. If you take the average number they use in the Athabasca with a high grade deposit is $10 per pound. So if you've got 40, it's 400 million. So we're at 400 million. People think we have around. The market thinks about 40. The analysts have got different numbers, anywhere from 55 to 90, based on a snapshot point in time, which was after the winter drilling. Now we've done another 70 holes, so we'll see what those numbers come back with. But definitely we have to finish at 43-101. Because of the compliance rules, we're not allowed to talk about how many pounds we have till a third party says so. So that's an important piece. So when we get that, I think that'll certainly give the world a better idea of what we really have. But again, that's a snapshot. We're going to continue to drill this winter. For us, the end game is obviously to monetize this asset, and that be most likely in selling it. We won't be going to production, even though we're doing all the permitting and et cetera we need to do. So when someone buys us, they're not behind 2 years. They'll continue on. But the end game is to sell it, and that's how we think is the best way to monetize this asset.
You have already some interest from various parties?
Well, the first step before you can get there is people have to sign a confidential CA, so that for a period of time they get access to information. They can't use that information to stake around you or something. So you have to get those in place first. Then they go into your data room, analyze it, then they come to the property. Now we've done that with a European major, And we've also done it with 2 other North American companies, and we've signed CAs with 3 Asian groups as well. So there is interest. In fact, 2 of the groups are going back shortly. I think most people are waiting for the 43-101 to be done, and then they'll look at and compare that to their own internal numbers. But, you know, what is really important here is not just what we're doing, but what's happening in the uranium market. You know, we've seen a tremendous bull market here in the last couple of months. We've seen prices go from 28 almost to 37. That's like a 30+% increase. Imagine if we did that in gold, it'd be all over every newspaper.
My goodness, yeah.
So it's got a renaissance move already. No one's really noticing, and so you know, we're very hopeful for the price of uranium, because that's really going to dictate how aggressive people are. If uranium goes to 40, I think that's a real signal that the market's back on. You know, the average cost to run a mine, uranium mine in the world is around $70 to $75. With spot price where it is, 2 things have to happen. Either we've got to turn reactors off, uranium prices have to go up. And with the growth that what's planned in China and even United Emirates and the Middle East, you know, home of cheap oil has got it. So a lot of time people talk about the wrong issues. You know, they worry about what Germany might do. But really the question is, let's talk about what China is doing. You know, they're adding so many reactors so quickly. And so I think that's the bigger story. The psychological factor in all of this is what Japan's going to do in the near future. Even though there isn't mean they're going to buy a bunch of pounds, I think it's a psychological factor. They won't be selling their what they've been saving in inventory. So I think those factors matter as much as anything. And so we're in a hurry to sell. In fact, our strategy is to have always enough money to go it on our own, right? We don't have to sell. But if the right offer comes along, obviously, we're going to do what's best for shareholders. And that's another thing, is that, you know, Ross and the rest of the team, our interests are aligned with shareholders. You know, we're interested in, because we're shareholders for a long time. I've been a shareholder since 1996. So a long time believer in how I think, in my view, nuclear power has to be part of a mix of any country's energy mix.
Money, you just said it. What is cash in the bank? How long can you work with that?
Well, we have, after this program, about 25 million. And so the next winter program will be about 10 million, give or take. So we have enough money to get through another 100 holes. You know, and I think that's, you know, the crucial part here, is we have enough money for another aggressive program. You raise money when you can, not when you have to.
I think you raised at a premium the last month.
We've been very fortunate. If you keep that in mind, raise money when you can, not when you have to. You have, that way you have more bargaining power with the bankers. So if you do that, you can raise money at premium prices versus not. And so we're very fortunate to catch a hard money at 160, and we're able to raise money at 150 on a flow through. And so the key is to raise money when you can, and when the right moment comes, we'll raise some more money.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Def, thank you very much. All the best for that, and we look forward to more results coming out, of course. The news flow is there. Thank you. And keep it going.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. That was Def Randhawa, the Chairman and CEO of Fission Uranium. Yeah, enough money in the bank. The summer drill program is almost finished, and the results are coming out. The 43-101 is for December. So stay tuned. Have a look at the company. Thanks, and bye-bye from Munich.